Okay, so let's welcome Dr. Minhas Chaudhary. Thank you for agreeing to give us this talk in a very basic comparison in DeepSeek and OpenAI, so that, because DeepSeek just, become very famous. So we want to know if it will hurt the OpenAI or all the AI related businesses, and it will help the investment club to make the good investment decision if we know a little bit better on this subject. So you can go ahead and then this is recorded. So
Yeah.
thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Daisy, and thank you, Dr. Puri, for the invitation. So we'll start with a few issues with DeepSeek, and then you can probably understand from whether you want to invest here or not. So let's see what DeepSeek is. So DeepSeek is actually the company's name. It is the Chinese company that actually made AI software models. They have different models. The version we are talking about is DeepSeek R1. However, we actually synonymously using in newspaper and everywhere DeepSeek as this R1. So we are actually meaning this latest version of DeepSeek company's AI model by DeepSeek. So it is a free chatbot, like ChatGPT. By chatbot, what I mean that you will type something to it, it will reply you or respond you just like an expert, and it can do that. It is free. That means you do not have to pay. It doesn't have the paid version like ChatGPT. So it is actually powerful in mathematics, coding, and reasoning tasks, just like ChatGPT. So like ChatGPT, it uses the similar task for writing emails, like summarizing text and answering your questions. Now, it is developed significantly lower cost than the ChatGPT. The ChatGPT is from the company OpenAI. That's why I put the name of OpenAI here. Now, here is a concern. Although it claims that it developed it in a significantly lower cost actually it's $5.3 million. This is actually questionable. Is it possible to develop this kind of system in $6 million? This is really questionable from in perspective of investment. So it can be a fake news. So now why? So it can use low power actually chips like silicon chips, the computer chips, and it does not need. I mean, that's what it claims. The company claims that it does not need that high powered chip devices. That's why the Nvidia share actually stock crashed, because people had the misconception that, oh, I do not need these high power chips anymore. Actually, this is actually also doubtful. To run a complex system like this DeepSeek, you actually really need highly powerful computer chips. So this news may not be correct, because we are getting this news from China, and we are not sure how accurate the news is. There are restrictions from USA to on China not to use high power chip devices because of the scarcity. But that's why this is actually doubtful whether they are using it sneakily or not. So this news may not be true. So that they are using low power devices. So the app became most downloadable on the App Store in the US before facing a large scale malicious attack. So this app, the app of DeepSeek, it was largely downloaded, but later it was a subject of cyber attack. And here the problem comes. It is not actually, in my opinion, it is not that much secure. To test a system, whether a system is good enough for us, we need actually some time, because we need to actually check separate behaviors, different behaviors of it. We haven't got actually that much time to check this DeepSeek R1 model. That's the problem. However, we had actually enough time to check ChatGPT and Google Bard. Yes, ChatGPT is really good. I still think ChatGPT is better than DeepSeek because in many perspectives. So I will explain the security and privacy issue. We can remember one thing. In China, like the government can actually has the right even to do a surveillance on people without letting them know. So there is actually almost no privacy. So this is actually the bigger concern for us, USA versus China, the privacy and the data security. DeepSeek actually does not consider that matter. They have some information in their like policies, but we doubt how much they actually follow that. Now, there is a concept called disruptive innovation. Any innovation, if it comes to market and it has a tendency to wipe out all of its competitor by its good performance, that is known as disruptive innovation. Now, DeepSeek is claimed to be a disruptive innovation. That means it is going to outrun all its competitor like ChatGPT or Llama from Meta. But the problem is the performance is not only the question. The question is security of the data and our privacy. That is actually the problem here. So, false claims. So the claim that the cost was lower is doubtful, and also, I mean, we are in very early stage to determine if it is better than its competitor of ChatGPT and Google Bard. Well, Google Bard had few issues for last few months. Probably they will be able to actually overcome that issues. Google Bard was like Gemini. It was actually generating wrong output, wrong prompt whenever you like ask it something by inputting keyboard as if you are asking a human. It was giving actually wrong result, but they are actually fixing this issue, so Google Bard will be good again. So every AI model, so this is an artificial intelligence model, it is actually trained from the data of you and me. So it is trained using some expert data. The problem is all the data from where it is trained, like both for ChatGPT and Google Bard, we know what kind of data is used. But in like DeepSeek, they did not disclose what kind of data they have used. That is another problem. So we do not know what is inside it. Okay, content restriction. So DeepSeek has content restrictions related to sensitive topics in China. For example, like a 1989 Tiananmen Square protest. And if you ask anything about Chinese government, it will not respond to you well. It will give you a just a vague like a response. That's a problem. It is biased. So in that case, I would say it is really biased. So its terms of use, like there are two things. One is the privacy policy of user. Another thing is terms of use. So let's see first the terms of use. What is the problem there? So the first problem is the liability is not mentioned. The company or the software is not liable for anything. It does not have any quality of service information. However, ChatGPT does have. ChatGPT, you can actually see it's it can be held liable for the content it is generating. So that is the difference between ChatGPT and DeepSeek. So user right. So when user accounts will be suspended or terminated, in DeepSeek, it is questionable. They don't actually specify about it. Whereas in ChatGPT, they have mentioned it clearly for which situation your account and my account can be suspended. But in DeepSeek, the terms of use, they did not mention clearly when my account or your account will be suspended, how long it will be suspended. Minors data. It has mentioned like that if there is a minor using its data, the minor's guardian parents need to be there to read the policy. But this is not enough. They haven't mentioned, DeepSeek haven't mentioned how they are going to deal with the minor's data.
Mm.
So who is responsible for the output? So any input you give it to it, it generates an output, right? So DeepSeek hold users responsible for both their input and the generated output. The output is generated by you. You means DeepSeek. So why you are holding us responsible? ChatGPT is not like that. So DeepSeek terms of use also mention that user shall review the company, the DeepSeek company itself's privacy policy. And here's the privacy policy and some problem here. Your data and my data, whenever we are giving it input, right? And our information is there, our username, password, and our profile, right? It is not clear that to whom it will share our information. It tells us that it has the right to share our information with third parties like advertising agencies and other people, but it is not actually clear about it. There is another problem. Remember, whenever we go to a website, it tells us that, okay, continue with your Gmail account. That means we can log into the system, that system, using our Gmail account. You can do the same thing with DeepSeek. If you go to DeepSeek, you do not need to create your own account. You can log in using your Gmail account. The problem is when you log in with Gmail account, it actually knows about you, your email address, and few more details about your Gmail account. And that is a problem. Why the problem? Because the data is stored in China. And Chinese government has the right to read the data. Your data and my data, the US citizens' data, or whoever residing in USA. That's the major problem here. I'll go short now. We don't have much time. So data storage. So personal data is stored in China and data retention complies with the applicable law of China. Here's the problem. Applicable law of China, which tells that any organization or company in China owned by any Chinese citizen, the government has the right to intercept, that means reading or getting that data without any permission. The government has the right, and that is the problem. My data and your data, whatever question we are asking, our details, even address, they may actually know that. The Chinese government has the ability to know that through that DeepSeek. That is the major problem here. So there is a firewall in China. So firewall is the thing in your computer that has the ability to see every data you are sending and receiving. There is something like that Great Firewall of China that is any data that goes into China, that means any computer system we call server or database server in China, the firewall can actually read that data, and the Chinese government can read that as well through it. That is the problem. So China's Personal Information Protection Law of 2021, DeepSeek actually follows that, but this Chinese Personal Information Protection Law of 2021 is not consistent with foreign nationals' data. That is the problem. So liability. So the policy says that DeepSeek follows commercially reasonable security measures, but it did not mention what kind of security measures. All the information they have given there in their privacy policy, they are very vague and they are not transparent. Where in case of ChatGPT, it's very transparent. So legal issue. So this privacy policy states that the DeepSeek may share the data in response to legal proceedings, but it says it may. So it has the right not to share the data if there is a lawsuit from a US citizen. Okay, so what data is collected by DeepSeek? Your personal information, for example, email address, phone numbers, and date of birth. and your like all the information you are inputting it, like your prompt, your questions, your queries that you are asking it. So your usage and behavioral data, it has the right to share it with Chinese government. That's the problem. So is it is DeepSeek I mean following the compliance with foreign countries' data? No. Here's an example. DeepSeek lacks the necessary safeguard to protect the European Union residents. For example, for European Union, there is a privacy act, a law they actually follow. It is known as GDPR. So the European countries, there are many countries, they doubt that DeepSeek lacks this consistency. Like it is not compatible, DeepSeek's privacy policy and usage of data is not compatible with this GDPR safeguard. So here are some examples. Many European countries actually banned like GDPR. Sorry, not GDPR, like DeepSeek. Outside European countries, South Korea recently put a hold, like temporary block on DeepSeek's uses. It is recent news. I think the news is of 5th February or 4th February. So here is the example, like Ireland, Belgium, France. They have restricted the use of DeepSeek for now, and they want clarity from the organization who made the DeepSeek R1. That means the company DeepSeek, that to explain whether the GDPR is actually compatible with them or not. That means any European Union resident, if they are using DeepSeek, how their data is stored, whether it is compatible with European Union's law, the GDPR. Australia and also China also banned DeepSeek on the week of February 2nd. That means this week. So ethical concern. The problem is every artificial intelligence need to train on a data. It gets some input data, it is trained, and then it acts. So the training is like experience. Like when we are kid, we used to learn by seeing people. It is like that. It has actually training data that is given from where it learns. That training data is questionable. The Chinese government and the company itself is reluctant to release the information about the training data. So the transparency of what data is used to train DeepSeek is not consistent now. That is the problem. China's hidden influence. Of course, we already talked about that. We are actually about to end. Like we have 4 or 5 slides left. So the terms of service emphasizes that the Chinese government can potentially read those data. So the government agencies like in China, they can actually access those data. So and there are actually there is a so DeepSeek's web login page. It contains vague code that when decoded shows that the DeepSeek is connected to China Mobile. It is a state-owned telecommunication company in China. So the code could potentially send user login information to China Mobile server. So the US has already restricted this China Mobile company from operating in USA due to the concerns about its ties with the Chinese military. And that's the problem. If you want to read more about it, below is actually the reference of it. I'll share the slides. I'll actually send it to Daisy so that she can circulate it to all of the audience.
Thank you.
Yes. And the last few slides, of course, it has actually the security flaw. So when Chinese company modified this company, DeepSeek, it has its own privacy policy and everything, right? It is found that it actually did not follow its own policy. That's the problem. That's another problem. Last three slides. Now, malicious content generation. If I ask like ChatGPT that like generate some cyber attack tools for me, it will not do that. But if you ask Deepseek, there is a way that it will generate it. That's the problem. So it is actually helping the criminals to do their job. That's the problem here. So during the testing phase of Deepseek, it was able to generate codes and instructions to steal the login credentials, credit card information, and how to distribute this code. That was another problem. So there is a concept called jailbreak. Any software that is very secured, you will not probably be able to jailbreak it. That means by jailbreak, it means we are going to use it without following its policy and without following the restrictions that its owner has set up. So it is possible to jailbreak Deepseek and use it because it is still in early stage. The company, like the Deepseek company, its R1 model is not protected from this jailbreak, like jailbroken. So that's why it can be used for malicious purpose. And there are many security issues. I'm actually making it short. And the last slide is AI malware faking Deepseek package. There are many software or website you will be able to find in the website that will appear like it is from Deepseek, but it is not. We have probably heard the name Python a lot now, right? The Python programming language, right?
Yeah.
In Python programming language, we actually use different pre-made software. We can use it, we can download it and use it with Python. There is actually a software, a module named as it's called DEEP S triple EK SIG. It's not Deepseek. You can probably see the name here, DEEP SEEAK SIG. That is a Python package. This is available online when you use Python programming language. People mistakenly downloaded it and they actually gave up all their personal information. So that is another actually misuse. So there are lots of misuse of this like Deepseek. There are lots of privacy issues. There are security issues. So from my perspective of cybersecurity expertise, it is still in early age, so that we can confirm that it is still suitable for the US citizen to use it. It does not have it does not maintain privacy. It can share our data with Chinese government and Chinese military. So that's why it is actually still not safe for us or secure for us to use Deepseek. Thank you.
Thank you. Any questions?
May I ask some question, Dr. Chaudhary?
Yes.
Please.
Yes, there are some security and privacy issues, and that's primarily because Deepseek is originated in China, and there is some Chinese policies which kind of restrict the privacy and other security issues. But on the scientific level, I just kind of happened to see the day it was coming up. So the Meta actually started having some kind of scrutiny of this Deepseek, and they said that they are opening 4 war chambers and to sort of analyze and just dissect Deepseek, the way they can. So my question is that since it is open source, just like ChatGPT, so my understanding is that one can always learn from what is the science behind it. Apart from security or privacy issues, let them be there. But is it not possible to learn and improve upon the models that here they are using Meta, the LLMA, ChatGPT, and Gemini with the impending about hundreds of billions of dollars of capex. So even though the news may be incorrect that they developed at a fraction of the cost, 6 million or so, even if it's incorrect, let's say, and it's more than 6 million or 60 million or whatever, but then still, uh, is there some essence in it? That yes, their learning models might be better, and something must be learned from there, apart from the privacy issues.
No, I mean, we didn't like the model is still in its very early stage to test.
Mm-hmm.
Without testing, we cannot confirm that they are always generating the right output.
Yeah.
One problem with any kind of this kind of chat-based apps, that they appear to us as they are correct, but they may not be.
Yeah.
In many cases, they are correct, but in many cases, they are not. So still it is in early stage. So after like the Meta or OpenAI, they or Microsoft, the partner of OpenAI,
Yeah.
after they actually do their scrutiny, we will be able to know whether they are actually really correct. Like this Deepseek. One concern is actually the resources used that they are actually claiming. Whenever any like a computer system uses lots of mathematical formula, it needs to have lots of memory usage, which is actually which they are actually denying. They are actually telling that they are using low power devices or low power devices, which does not sound practical to me. So there is
Okay.
something wrong with this information. I
Yeah.
think from my experience, it sounds it's like it's a fake news, just to make people invest more on that, and so that people they can actually take away the investors from USA to China. So that's what I think here.
Okay.
Still, we have actually time. We need at least actually next 5 or 6 months to know whether the outputs are actually stable. I mean, it's generating a really stable like output. Now, apparently, it's looking like it's doing good, but it probably may not be. Thank you, Professor.
So is their model really more efficient, or we still need more time to test? And
We need more actually more time to test.
okay.
People are
And
thinking that it's more efficient, but we are still in early age to test it, because but we need to actually the problem is probably in 80% cases it is doing good, but 20% cases, if it's doing really bad, then that's a concern. So it is like a car. A car is driving really good in I-80, right? ChatGPT is one car, and Deepseek is one car. Deepseek ran really well for next like 6 months, but at the 7th month, it actually involved in lots of accident because it was malfunctioning. But ChatGPT, it is running for last 3 years really well. So that is actually the difference. So we still don't know how good it is. So that's why we do not need to we need to stop really rushing into it and keep using it, because we still don't know its security issues. My concern is security is actually private and privacy more here, rather than the cost itself, because security and privacy comes with a cost. If anything is less secure, it is more convenient. If something is more secure, it is less convenient. That's the rule of thumb for us. That is the first day I actually teach students. So we need to decide, do we want a more convenient item with less security, or less convenient item with more security? Or if we want a balance between them. Yeah, thank you.
Thanks, Dr. Chaudhary.
Thank you,
As a
Professor.
follow-up question, I just have one more thing here.
Yes, sure.
For instance, I mean, there's now so much of competition is there in this space. You have so many, AI models for this. My concern is this, that in China, for instance, not unlike US or Europe, where privacy laws are clear cut. And so it is very important that the intellectual property data may not be accessible freely to Chat GPT or Gemini or others. Whereas in
Yes.
China, I mean, perhaps there is no such restriction, and
Yes.
Deepseek or any other AI models that they come up, they can have a much larger and diverse data set for learning the models.
Yes.
So, in fact, I was concerned about one thing, that suppose you write some papers here, and your papers, your research papers are your intellectual property, and now
Yes.
Chat GPT or AI, they are just accessing it without your permission. That
Yes.
whether we can quote it or we cannot quote it, or whether you can take something from here or not. So that problem is not there in China. So I'm just thinking that since accessibility of a, a preview information is less of an issue in China than it is
Yes.
in US. So don't you think that their models eventually could be much more efficient? It is like, the modern, I mean, another parallel example is, for instance, Tesla. For whatever reason, they have actually collected an enormous array of data set, over the last 10 years,
Yes.
on their customers, which is not possible, which is not accessible to other EV makers, So
Yes. Yes.
Tesla has definitely a comparative advantage in that respect. So I was just thinking about it, that because of the um, privacy rights here in the US and Europe, uh, does it restrict the learning as far as the AI models are concerned? And which may be a plus point in Chinese models. I may be
Yes,
wrong. I
true.
mean, I'm thinking.
Yes, you are correct. In China, the government can actually like do almost anything. Like if someone is walking by the road, if he has
Yeah,
lots of debt with the
yeah,
government or some organization, there is billboard where it shows that person's face. So how do they like recognize him? Because they were observing him using CCTV cameras, and they were like storing those data into their database. Yes, about both human behavior and human intellectual, China is going to have the like a tremendous amount of data compared to any other countries, because they don't have any restriction to store those data, to use those data. In that sense, yes, their AI models training data is far more vast compared to ours and our European Union. So, and that is really a concern in the AI battle for USA in future. So, a big, a really big or the major concern about any AI model is the training data. How vast is the training data? They are going to have a vast amount of training data, that the scenario you just described. And in that sense, it is really a concern that USA may lose this AI battle if it continues like this. Thank you.
thanks very much. Yeah.
You're welcome.
I don't want to monopolize the platform, so I will invite other people to ask questions.
And I'm just curious, like since DeepSeek, they are open source,
Yes.
could other AI companies like the Google, OpenAI, Microsoft, can they use their code to coordinate in their own code to see, whether or not they can improve it? Do you think it would be
Yes,
helpful.
I think they can. I think they can. I mean, since it's open source, they can actually take that code and they can actually modify it. Yes, it's possible.
That's what this Nelson, this Satyam Nadella of
Yes,
Microsoft and Zuckerberg
yes,
of Facebook, Meta.
yes,
They have been telling that it's good for them because
yes,
this is since it's open source, so they can
yes,
also learn and actually reduce the costs. And
yes.
I mean, like right now, it's people are investors are questioning why there
Mhm.
is so much of investment, billions of dollars, which may not
Yes,
actually generate return for
yes,
that kind of investment. So, but
yes,
then they are saying that yes, since it's open source, so it's good for everybody. They can also learn
yes,
from it.
yes.
So Trip, here comes another question for you. So if all these software company, they can learn from the open source code, do you think it will affect NVIDIA's sales? Because maybe in theory, those companies will be more efficient. They might not need as much NVIDIA's chips as before. Do you think it will hurt NVIDIA's or it will actually benefit NVIDIA?
Is it for Dr. Puri or for me?
Oh, for Trip, for Puri.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
I mean, I see it's like this, that my understanding is very limited, but whatever I have read, I just want to share to answer that question. I was actually listening to one interview of Jensen Huang, the CEO of
Yeah,
NVIDIA. So he said to me that in the NVIDIA chips, it's not all that simple
yeah,
to sort of replicate the clusters of chips and infrastructure and architecture. So it's not all that simple that one can imitate. So my understanding is this, that perhaps the news that came from Deepseek that they can use the GPU of NVIDIA along with some other cheaper chips that can work and that can play the trick may not be true. So, that's what Jensen Huang actually implied, that it is not an easy matter to replicate those chips, and they are in uh, structure, I mean, like architecture and cluster of those things. So, from that point of view, unless some other serious competition comes up in the market, NVIDIA will perhaps maintain its leadership. And yes, there is some pullback, but as you can see, that it's coming up. But that pullback and coming back is not the technical phenomena. Maybe it is because of tariffs being imposed on China. And so looks like that Jensen Huang, when he met Trump last week, and immediately after that, I thought perhaps there'll be some softened tariff, on NVIDIA also, but that didn't happen. In fact, the sanctions did maintain, going forward, on NVIDIA supply to China. So, I think it's a matter of waiting. I'm sure that things are moving so fast that even nobody knows. Even China can come up with some GPUs like NVIDIA. So who knows, about this? So this kind of hegemony will one day perhaps disappear. Until such time, yes, NVIDIA will maintain its supremacy, I would say.
yeah. Any other questions?
I have one question, but it's not related to this, and I don't know. I mean, I will just request Dr. Chaudhary if he can answer. If he doesn't want to, then it's okay. I was just wondering, that in the beginning, I just mentioned that, look, as an economist, when we are dealing with the various currency regimes and all, gold standards, currency regimes, etc. So now this new cryptocurrencies have come up, in the last 10, 15 years. So um, from the scientific standpoint, what makes these currencies rare? for instance, gold mining is rare, and the gold usage may not be there as much in the industry. Yet, gold is uh, used as a currency which can be a store of value and also exchange. Things can be exchanged in it. The trades and imports and exports can be evaluated in terms of gold. So I would just like a word from you, if you can. What makes it so rare to mine these cryptos?
So those actually they are the information about any transaction or about this kind of like cryptocurrency. They are stored in all over the world in all different computers. So mostly the main thing why they are actually very demanding is their nature of anonymity. Meaning in bank account, we know that I have $10,000 in bank. Cryptocurrency is just like a Swiss bank where we cannot trace who the owner is, except the owner. It actually helps the illegal activities people, the politicians and other people to do their transactions. That's why it is very demanding because of them. They made it really high demanding. And that's why that's actually I think that is the behind the reason why the hype is there. Like cryptocurrency is getting more attention now because of this concept. But still, we are in. I mean, I still don't think that they should be given that much value. But because of their anonymous nature and flexibility of usage, they are actually like of high demand now.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's a good point, and but I was just wondering, uh, how difficult it is to mine a coin, and so that, the inventory of that coin goes up. For instance, at this time, Bitcoin has about 21 million coins, and out of which 3 or 4 millions have been lost, for how, I don't know how, but I'm just wondering that how difficult and what's the process of mining these coins?
Well, it needs lots of computational power. That's true. So the computational power of us, like the NVIDIA chips, right? They are
Yeah.
actually going up. It is almost like double in 1.5 years. Previously, it used to be double in every 2 years, but now it's getting double in every 1.5 years. So we are actually getting like more and more computational power. So in future, the mining will not be that much hard. That is actually now. So
Yeah.
in future, their usage, we have a really there's a good possibility that their usage will go up, and they will not be that much like demanding. Like the currency that were actually lost. This is because of all these like transactions error that happened during this all the online transactions.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank
Yeah,
you.
thank you, Professor.
Yeah.
Yes, someone actually.
Jalen.
Okay.
Yeah. So Jalen asked, what are some corporate indications we should be watching for in 6 months for further evaluate whether DeepSeek is the real deal or not?
Yeah, that will be a question for Dr. Puri.
I'm
So,
sorry?
so the corporate indications to watch. So I would say like there are some podcasts that people host discussing high-tech industry. So I follow few of them that they actually always interview some, CEO or some top management from high-tech companies. And you can also try to find, those podcasts. And I can send out a list to our group meet group. So yeah, so I think that's something we can follow. So try to find some podcasts, I think, on high tech
Mhm.
that, you know, they will discuss these kind of issues. Yeah. Trip, do you have anything you want to add?
No, I'm fine. Yeah, you know.
Yeah, or Bloomberg, or, you know, when
Yes.
we have the FactSet. So, you know, go to FactSet website, they should have those kind of news. And if you like even with the Thinkorswim, if you save NVIDIA's symbol, so under NVIDIA you can click news and then you can see all the related news to NVIDIA. So they might, or OpenAI, you know, Microsoft. So you'll be able to see those news. Yeah.
Yeah, very good.
So if no questions, thank you everybody for coming today, and thank you, Dr. Minhas. Thank you for your time, and Trip, thank you for asking these questions. I think it will really help students to understand, you know, some of the concept here.
Yes, I do talk to my students in my classes, you know, because
Yeah.
whenever I read something, you know, I try to relate it to my investments class or international financial management class. And so it becomes very relevant, and things are moving so fast. It's a very dynamic one. So unless we mention these things, you know, then the course becomes very mundane otherwise, you know.
Yes.
So it's very helpful, you know.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
Thanks very much, Dr.
Thank you.
Chaudhary.
And
Let's
this
keep
will
in
be
touch, you know.
Welcome.
Yeah.
Thank you.
yeah, this will
Yeah.
be this recording will be sent out as well. Thank you.
Oh, yeah,
Thank you.
that'll be nice, you know, if you can send it.
Yeah.
That'll be good.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank
Okay,
you.
thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.